What's up, y'all? It's your girl Stephanie, and welcome to my September favorites. Man, this is my third attempt now at filming this video. If you watched my last video, my Good Bad Trendy, I explained kind of what happened. I pretty much filmed that favorites on the day that Cavanaugh got confirmed into the Supreme Court, and I was just not in a good headspace. I mentally really was not present at all. There was like nothing behind my eyes in all of the footage. So I just decided to go ahead and refilm my second attempt. I don't know what the heck. Maybe I was just like too much in my head again about it. I think I jinxed myself for the second time, maybe. I don't know. But this time we are powering through. So before we get into it, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe below. Come join the sisterhood. No matter your true pronoun or gender identity, come join the family. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's talk about a primer that I have been using a lot. This is the Farsali Skin Tune Blur Perfecting Primer Serum. Now, Farsali is one of those brands that I first saw on Instagram with people, you know, like dripping it onto their faces. It's got a little dropper guy right here. The texture, okay. The texture of this is very unique. It is quite soft. So it's not like a silicone feeling primer. It's not oily. It's not slippy. It has a very slippery.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
It kind of dries down into this very powder-like finish, I would say, but at the same time, it's moisturizing. So I was like even reading reviews online on Sephora, and people from dry skin to oily skin were really loving this. Foundation and concealer just goes on this primer beautifully. It really just like blurs out the skin, smooths out the pores, and when I put makeup on top, I just feel like my skin looks really smooth. Because sometimes, you know, depending on the primer, I'll put on the same concealer and it'll really expose all of the pores all around here, but this one seems to really smooth everything out. I've really been enjoying it, and actually a subscriber DM'd me on Instagram asking me to try this one out, and I have been trying it out and I really enjoy it. So yeah, I always thought it was such a gimmicky thing too, actually, when I saw people take these products, you know, and then like drip them onto their face on Instagram, and I was like, come on, just put it on your fingers and blend it out. But actually, for this one, it does make sense because it's pretty thick and it doesn't spread out the easiest. So if you kind of just drop a drop all over your face and then spread it from there, it actually seems to be the best form of application for me. So it's not just a gimmick, it's actually a practical form of application. All right, everybody, let's talk about my favorite palette that Hourglass has ever come out with. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit in Unlocked. I have been putting this on my face nonstop. This is a fairly new palette that came out. I want to say it's been available for maybe a month, but I did have the opportunity to grab it, I think like a couple weeks even before it came out. So I've been using it ever since then. I primarily use 4 of these colors. So let me walk you through all of this. So this upper hand color right here, which is this like bronze with a little bit of golden flecks in it, that's definitely the one that I use the most for sure. I use that one as my bronzer, my little bit contour on the cheeks. It just is such an easy color to blend out. It's great for my skin tone. It's warm, and I really do love all those little golden flecks. It doesn't show up like crazy on the cheeks actually, so don't worry about your, you know, skin looking very sparkly, but where it does show up is actually on my eyes. So that's all I'm wearing on my eyes today is this upper color right here. And when you actually blend it out and pack it on, those little sparkles really do show up, and it's just such a beautiful, warm, like kind of light brown. I really love this color. It's like my perfect everyday brown eye color. Moving on to the bottom here, this middle color is what I've been using for blush like every day. I brought this with me now on a couple trips now actually. I brought it with me. Did I bring it with me to Australia? I definitely brought it with me to Memphis and to my recent trip to San Francisco. That's like all I brought for like my face products. It was great because it's like a very small kind of, in terms of like all the products I would use on my face, a great little thing to use. But yeah, on this bottom row here, I have been using this middle color as my blush, and it's really not the kind of color that I would think would look good on me. It's like almost like a purpley color. But when it goes on my cheeks, it's not so powerfully purple. It just is a nice blush color. It's very subtle. Y'all know I don't like strong blush colors. You could pack it on, like all these things also, like I said, like you can pack them on and they still blend out really, really nicely. But if you want to do a very thin layer or something, you could do that as well. I also have used this color over here on my eyes. It's like a peach with even more of those gold shimmers in there. But what I've been doing with this is I've been combining it with this color over here, which is like a silvery gold highlight. I've been combining them to create my highlight. And all these colors are very glowy, I would have to say. None of them are matte. So you're gonna get a very glowy overall look, but not oily, obviously. Like, you're not gonna look oil slick, you're just gonna look like you have a glow from within. So these two combined, I've been using on my cheeks and on my eyebrow bone, my nose, Cupid's bow, also this one, inner corners for sure. These two over here, I don't really have a use for either of these, but I know that it's a finishing powder. Yeah, they are both finishing powders. This one is called Soft Light and then Filter Light. Maybe it's just for my skin tone. I haven't been really using it. I mean, the fact that I use 4 of these in here so much and it serves so many purposes, it makes this palette really worth it for me. I love it. All right, I have 2 skincare items to show y'all. They are both by Drunk Elephant, a fairly new brand for me. So this one is the B-Hydra Intensive Hydration Gel. This is an ultra hydrating gel that replenishes the complexion and improves the look of skin texture and tone, formulated with pro vitamin B5 and pineapple ceramide. What this product kind of reminds me, like in terms of what I've used in the past, is the Kate Somerville Dermal Quench, where it's supposed to be something just very thin but ultra hydrating. It's just something that I can add that is not like a super thick layer of something that will really add moisture, because I feel like the morning after I use this and then the next product that I talk about, I just feel like my skin feels really nice but not overly oily still when I wake up. This absorbs in the skin really nice. If you are actually the kind of person who really feels like they need some moisture into their skin but you don't like the feeling of a heavy cream, this could be something that would be very useful for you, because I also use this in the daytime. It just absorbs into the skin really fast and doesn't leave like any kind of weird gel residue. The other thing about this is, like, I typically do not like gel moisturizers because I feel like they leave my skin feeling really tight. Gel moisturizers are usually, you know, they're for people with oily skin. That's what they say it's for. But I don't know. It just leaves your skin feeling really tight and there's like not moisturized at all. Even if you have oily skin, like, you need moisture in your skin. A lot of times oily people potentially are producing more oils because they are lacking moisture. So I don't know. If you are looking for something just to add a little bit more moisture, this could be something that you'd be interested in. And then the other product from Drunk Elephant that I got here is the Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. Now in this bottle is just one kind of oil. It's marula oil. So here it says, rich in critical antioxidants and omega-6 and 9, marula balances and nourishes while restoring a youthful glow. This is the oil that I've been using every single night. I have a lot of steps in my skincare, but typically what I do is I'll wash my face, double cleanse obviously, then I've been going with my SK2 essence, then I will go with this oil, and then like another moisturizer. I have this ginseng one that I've been using. But this is just a really nice oil because when you put it on, it absorbs into the skin easily, so it doesn't feel like a really thick layer of oil on your skin again. I mean, it is clear that you have oil on your skin, but when you fall asleep and wake up the next morning, it feels like it's really absorbed into your skin. Like, I don't mind an oil that when you wake up, like, it still feels like there's a layer on your skin, but this one actually feels like it's absorbed. And my skin has just been really happy recently. Clearly, I feel like it's looking pretty damn good. So I'm gonna continue using these Drunk Elephant items and also the other ones that I got. And if I really like it, I feel like I want to do an updated skincare routine soon. So perhaps these will be in it. All right, that's it for this product section of this video. I have something else to speak about. I got multiple items to show y'all, but one thing really to speak about, and that's a website called heroin.com. This is not sponsored, but if you've ever seen a website called Grailed, which is like a reseller site for like streetwear and high-end stuff, this is like their sister site. So I've been shopping on Heroin now for a minute. I got some really cool stuff to show y'all. They got stuff from, you know, streetwear to designer to just like vintage items, like this shirt I'm wearing right now. Okay, I can't get up too fast because I'm not wearing pants right now, so I'm just showing you the shirt part. Look at this. How cool is this? It's a Sonic the Hedgehog vintage shirt. When have you ever seen a Sonic the Hedgehog shirt? You just find really cool, unique things on there, and to be honest, like, I don't have the time or the patience currently anymore in my life to go to, I don't know, like Goodwills and different stores and just like sift through stuff. Like, it's just not what I'm doing. I used to do that a lot in the past, but recently I just haven't been able to do that. Plus, I don't know, I feel like in LA, it's just a lot less accessible. When I lived in the Bay Area, I would go to like Oakland, or like, especially when I lived in Davis, I would go to like cities around Davis, like Sacramento had great thrifting, and other little towns around. But here, I think it's just really oversaturated, and also the prices are just way too high. So I might as well just look at a website from the comfort of my own home and buy cool vintage stuff. So I got a couple other items here to show y'all. I got this awesome shirt. This is the back of it. It's like a, I don't know what you call this, like a bowling shirt? I don't know. And the front has that Japan embroidery right in the front with the pocket, and then like the side, the sleeve has this embroidery as well. So this one I have been wearing like open with like a lacy cami underneath, which is super, super cute. And then I also have this shirt, the Clash. How sick is this? I love it. And also, like, you can go to different categories. Like, they have a whole category that is just like Japanese designer or Japanese vintage, which I obviously really enjoy. So that's something that I really like, is that I can just go through the categories and find out what I like. The heavy hitter that I want to show y'all here is I got this right after my birthday. Okay, so yeah, a little bit ago. I got this Gucci bag. Look how pretty this is. So the story behind this bag is that I had been wanting this specific bag for a while. I saw it on a guy in New York months ago, and I was like, where did you get that bag? It's so nice. I just have never seen this one before. Maybe I'm just blind and people had it, but I really like the strap, and I don't necessarily like super like this thing. I like wearing it with this side. But I just really like the strap. I thought it was really pretty, and I like the colors. And he was like, don't quote me on this because I'm just relaying what he said to me, but he said that this was like just for one season or something, and they just made it and he got it then. So I had been looking around since then, like for this specific bag, and I really couldn't find it anywhere. And then it just like popped up on Heroin, and I was like, oh crap. I think that the retail price, like, also don't quote me on this, but I think when I saw it online, it was sold out obviously, but I think this was $1,200, and on Heroin, the girl was selling it for $800, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I'll do that, like sick, you know? I feel like for seasonal stuff like this, like you can actually sell it at retail if it's in really good condition like this. So I went ahead and just went with it. It was like my birthday present to myself. And then she was like, oh, hey, this is actually 800 in Canadian. So I sent you back like 150 Canadian back. So I think I got this, I don't know, maybe I got this for like $700 or something with everything said and done with like shipping and whatnot, but it was pretty amazing. I was stoked, and now I have this really cool bag. So yeah, it's a kind of site that, you know, you still have to sift through it and figure out what you want. You can also just bid on things too, by the way. It's not just like a set price. So if you want to offer a little bit lower than what they're listing, like you could potentially do that. But yeah, I think it's a really cool site. It's like curated thrifting, but high end and vintage, like all there very conveniently for you, all online. All right, y'all, before I go, you know I kind of touched upon the Cavanaugh situation earlier in the video and how upsetting it was for me, and how I'm sure it's very very upsetting for a lot of y'all out there. And typically, making videos is my escape, like my happy place. I love just talking about products and things and like sharing that with y'all. But that day, like nothing could like really get me out of that funk. And I'm sure a lot of y'all were like that too and still are like that, because I am as well. So I just want to let y'all know that I'm here for you. The fact that our president and just a person just got freaking appointed into the Supreme Court have both been accused of sexual assault, and it's just been kind of like brushed under the rug like this is just highly upsetting. Trump recently was at one of his rallies and was joking about the validity of Dr. Ford's statements, saying, oh, if she couldn't remember how she got to the party and how she left, or like what day it was exactly, like how could she really remember? Or maybe she doesn't have a good memory of what actually happened. And I want to say, like, if you are a person who's gone through trauma, gone through any form of sexual assault, like, you don't forget that. You never forget it. Maybe you push it back in your brain for self-preservation, but you don't fucking forget it. And the fact that she was so brave to come forward and tell her story, because who the fuck would come out and bring all this upon themselves if they're just, if it's not, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to even talk right now, but like no one would just bring this shit upon themselves and like potentially ruin their own careers by just trying to like ruin this guy's chance at getting into the Supreme Court if he's a good guy or whatever. Ugh, you just don't forget it. Maybe you forget the exact day. Like, I can't remember, like, things that happened just a few days ago. Like, but when it's something like that, you remember it. And like I said, maybe you push it in the back of your head for your own self-preservation. But things do trigger memories. And obviously, the potential of Kavanaugh being appointed onto the Supreme Court made Dr. Ford come out, and she's a very, very brave person for doing that. I think the other very disturbing thing about this whole situation is, like, I think that there's a very good chance that he does not remember assaulting Dr. Ford, but that's because he was, like, blackout drunk, which many people came forward saying that they had seen him on many occasions, like, holding up the walls. That was, like, a thing that was said that he was doing, meaning, like, he was so drunk that he was, like, holding onto the walls or whatever. And the fact that he really denies ever blacking out or like ever getting that drunk, like you're straight up lying. There's people, your friends that you went to school with, saying that you were the guy at the party who always like drank and drank and drank. So that is another disturbing thing, that he just like lied under oath right there. But anyways, sorry y'all. But you know what? Like, all we can do now is vote during the midterm elections. And if you haven't registered to vote, please register to vote. The deadline in Los Angeles is October 22nd. So you got a few more days right now. But if you can, just please, please, please register to vote. And it just really matters to be informed about what's happening right now currently in our political climate, because like these are people in power. We just put somebody like accused of sexual assault into the Supreme Court. It is fucking wild. Obviously, this whole situation has really brought out something in me. Some might say I've been triggered. I don't know why. I don't like that word triggered, because it has such like it's a very negative, like liberal, I don't know, tone to it that people always joke about, but I don't know what other word you would use for it. I personally have gone through some things that like I don't wish to speak about right now, but this whole situation just made me realize there's so many things that I can speak about that I maybe was thinking like it wasn't appropriate for me to speak about, but like I just really want to just open up the floodgates and talk about all this. Within the last few years, or not even a few years, couple of years, the conversation about sexuality and consent, like all these things have become very much more, I don't know, mainstream. And I feel like it's something that I really want to be able to discuss with y'all. In college, I studied sexuality studies. That was my minor. It was psychology and sexuality studies, and that's for a reason, because I, personally was going through my own shit. So a lot of times, you study stuff that really matters to you. So anyways, I feel like now I've just been ranting, but I just want to let y'all know I'm here with you. I see you and I feel you. And if you are this far along in this video, thanks so much for watching. I really love y'all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.